So good day everyone, this is Richell Saavedra, and as a continuation for Kailan Tapon's report regarding the menstrual cycle, we will be moving forward right now to our next lesson, which is describe the hormonal tissue and behavioral changes that occur across the menstrual cycle and how these are regulated. And of course, it will be reported by yours truly, Saavedra Richell. So to start, we have four hormones for menstrual cycle. These are luteinizing hormone, follicle-stimulating hormone, gonadotropin-releasing hormone, and the two sex female hormones, which are estrogen and progesterone. So for today, we will be just discussing their brief information since it will be discussed for the next reporter. I will just giving you insight regarding the importance and how these hormones being regulated to or what are their importances for menstrual cycle. And the first is, of course, we'll be tackling first the luteinizing hormone. So what is luteinizing hormone? This is a hormone made in pituitary gland. So in females, it acts on ovaries to make follicles release their eggs and to make hormones that get the uterus ready for a fertilized egg to be implanted. And I know most of you are asking, what does luteinizing hormone or LH do in the menstrual cycle? So it aids in egg maturation and provides hormonal trigger to cause ovulation and the release of eggs from the ovary. And the next one is the follicle-stimulating hormone. So what is follicle-stimulating hormone? This is the follicle-stimulating hormone is one of the hormones essential to pubertal development and the functions of women's ovaries and men's testes. In a woman, this hormone stimulating the growth of ovarian follicles in the ovary before the release of an egg from one follicle at ovulation. And what is the functions of follicle-stimulating hormone? The follicle-stimulating hormone plays an important role in sexual development and functioning. In a woman, follicle-stimulating hormone helps control the menstrual cycle and stimulates the growth of eggs in the ovaries. And the next is the estrogen. Estrogen is a hormone that plays various roles in the body. In females, it helps develop and maintain both the reproductive system and female characteristics such as breasts and pubic hair. And I know most of you are asking about what is the functions of estrogen hormones. Estrogen helps control the menstrual cycle and it is important for childbearing. Estrogen also has the functions. It keeps cholesterol in control, protect bone health for both women and men. Next is the gonadotropin-releasing hormone. So what is gonadotropin-releasing hormone? This hormone causes the pituitary gland in the brain to make and secrete the hormones luteinizing hormone and follicle-stimulating hormones or FSH. So in men, these hormones cause testicle to make testosterone. So therefore in women, they cause the ovaries to make estrogen and progesterone. So that is the role of the gonadotropin-releasing hormone in menstrual cycle. And what is the role of gonadotropin-releasing hormone, especially in menstrual cycle? So this is the key regulator of the reproductive axis. It pulsatile secretion determines the pattern of secretion of the gonadotropin follicle-stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone, which then regulate both the endocrine function and gamete maturation in the gonads. Next is the last hormones, the progesterone. Progesterone is one of the female sex hormones that other being estrogen. Its main functions are regulating menstruation and supporting pregnancy in the female body. And I know most of you are asking what is the functions of progesterone hormone. So the function of this is prepares the endometrium for the potential of pregnancy after ovulation. It also triggers the lining to thicken to accept a fertilized egg. It also prohibits the muscle contractions in the uterus that would cause the body to reject an egg. So that are our hormones for a menstrual cycle. So right now we will be tackling about the changes during the menstrual cycle. So menstrual blood and tissue flow from your uterus through the small opening in your cervix and pass out of your body through your vagina. During the monthly menstrual cycle, the uterus lining builds up to prepare for pregnancy. So if you do not get pregnant, the estrogen and progesterone hormones level begin falling. What are changes occur during the menstrual cycle? Your estrogen level will rise, causing the endometrium to get thicker. the two FSH levels also rise, causing maturations of several ovarian follicles, one of which will produce a fully mature egg during days 10 to 14. And the ovulation units around day 14 in a 28-day cycle. LH levels surge, causing ovulations. So moving forward, we will be having our diagram. So just please keep your lines open or keep your minds there with this topic, because later on we will be discussing further regarding, just a quick recap regarding with all of our reports. So next is the menstrual phases. We should always remember that the menstrual phases has three phases. One is the follicular phase, where before of the egg or before release of the egg. And the second one is the ovulatory phase, the egg release, and the luteal phase, where after egg release. And we also have the processes and cycles during menstruation. So this is just a quick cycle. So first is the pituitary hormone cycle, the ovarian cycle, sex hormone cycle, ovulatory phase, and the menstrual cycle. So these are the 5 cycle for a menstrual cycle occur during menstrual or menstruation of a particular woman. So we have here a pituitary hormone. So as you can see, this is just a brief diagram. Later on, we will be discussing further. So pituitary hormone cycle. This is the first day of menses and identified as a cycle day 1. Estrogen is at lowest point. Therefore, the pituitary secretes FSH and LH, a process which actually begins before the onset of your menses. These hormones in turn stimulate the growth of several ovarian follicles, each containing one egg. Which pituitary hormone is high during menstrual cycle? So the GnRHs stimulates, or this is the causes the pituitary gland to produce follicle stimulating hormone, which is the FSH, and the hormone responsible for starting follicle or the egg development and causing the level of estrogen, the primary female hormone, to rise. This next is the ovarian cycle. So as you can see here, this is the diagram. Ovarian cycle. What do you mean by ovarian cycle? This refers to the series of changes in the ovary during which the follicle matures. The ovum is shed and the corpus luteum develops. If implantation does not occur, the corpus luteum will be degraded, resulting in menstruation. If implantation occurs, the corpus luteum is retained. We have 3 stages of ovarian cycle, which is the follicular phase, the ovulation, and the luteal phase. So the follicular phase is the time between the first day of the period and ovulation. Estrogen rises on an egg, prepares to be released. The proliferative phase, after the period, the uterine lining builds back up again. And in the ovulation, this happens in the release of the egg from your ovary into your fallopian tube. It typically happens about 13 to 15 days before the start of each period. And like your period, the timing of ovulation can vary cycle to cycle. And you may have the odd cycle where you don't ovulate at all. And the next is the follicle that bursts and released the egg, or this is the luteal phase, and develops into a small yellow structure or cyst called the corpus luteum. The corpus luteum secretes progesterone and estrogen that cause the uterine lining or endometrium to thicken and be able to nourish and fertilize an egg. So these are the 3 stages of ovarian cycle that you should always remember during the menstrual cycle. And next is the sex hormone cycle. So sex hormone cycle is a colloquial title covering the group of hormones that affects our sexual drive and desire. The purpose of these hormones is to carry messages between your organs and your cells, ultimately keeping your body balanced and functioning optimally. And what is the role of sex hormones in the menstrual cycle? So the role of this is to help develop and maintain physical female sex characteristics and play an important role in the menstrual cycle, fertility, and pregnancy. So in females, the ovaries and adrenal glands are the main producers of sex hormones. And the female sex hormones includes estrogen, progesterone, and spoken of testosterone. So here is the endometrial cycle. So as you can see here, yes, that is our endometrial cycle. And what is the cycle or uterine cycle? It refers to the cyclic changes occurring in the endometrium during active reproduction period or menarche or menopause in females, leading to recurrent monthly bleeding per vaginum. So we also call menstruation as vaginum. Please do bear with that one. So endometrial cycle also is changes under control of the endocrine system. Each phase is marked by psychological changes that are controlled by circulating levels of estrogen and progesterone, which are synthesized and secreted from the ovary. So right now, we will do a quick recap for my report for you to understand even more, and allow me to speak Taglish here for me to discuss to you further regarding with my report. And actually, ito yung naka-zoom out na diagram sa mga pinakita ko kasi na slides. Yun yung mga naka-zoom in lang. So, basically, ito yung menstrual cycle diagram ng isang typical woman na nag-menstruate siya every month. So, as you can see here, wala yung odd number dito sa days kasi event to lahat. Ito yung mga regular talaga yung babae na nire-regla per month. So, right now, as you can see here, yung progesterone natin, ito yung green one. And yung red is the estrogen. And the LH, ito yung blue. At yung pink naman, ito yung FSH. So, makikita natin yung follicular phase is nasa left side. And yung luteal phase naman natin is nasa right side. And of course, yung center natin is ang ovulation. So, right now, dito natin makikita, i-discuss ko sa inyo kung ano yung differences and similarities and the changes, of course, for the hormones that regulates in a menstrual cycle. So, yung sa follicular phase natin, nakikita natin na average lang yung FH and yung LH natin. And when it comes to the ovulation, mas mataas na dito si LH kaysa kay FSH. And so on and forth, hanggang sa nag-luteal phase na, makikita pa rin natin na mas mataas si LH kaysa kay FSH. And regarding naman sa progesterone natin, makikita natin sa during the first stage, which is the follicular phase, mas mataas siya kaysa kay estrogen. And hanggang sa nag-ovulation na stage, makikita natin na nagtaas na masyado si estrogen kaysa kay progesterone. And sa luteal phase naman natin ngayon, makikita natin na nagtaas na naman uli si progesterone at nagbaba na naman si estrogen or si estradiol hanggang sa mapunta na siya sa luteal phase. And right now, makikita natin yung similarities and changes talaga from both stages, which is the follicular phase and the luteal phase. Kasi sa ovulation, ito na yung nag-high peak na para maglabas na yung si egg. So, as you can see here, yung mga follicles natin, meron siyang dalang egg. So, as per discussion na while ago, dito sa follicular phase, isang egg lang talaga yung mag-stimulate dito hanggang sa mapunta siya sa ovulation. Papunta na naman sa luteal phase, makikita natin na nagtiticker na yung lining ng mga follicles natin up until sa last day ng menstrual cycle, which is the 28 days. So, yeah, ito yung process, normal process or cycle na nag-undergo during menstrual cycle. Thank you so much for joining me in this very important discussion about menstrual cycle. I hope you learned more. Have a great day. Bye-bye.